Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so how's my royalty doing? I hope everyone's safe and doing well. And I hope, I don't know, watching the news and watching different YouTubers show the lines at the shelters. I like this is where I show my empathy. I talked about this in September and I even mentioned where my a lot of my empathy and sympathy goes when it comes to the homeless and the hungry. And now we have so many more that are hungry. It's like some people want to shame some of us for not being empathetic for a certain individual. While years ago, if you guys remember the Black Lives Matter movement, for the victims who ended up being part of the reason why we were speaking up, oh, they didn't have any empathy. They were just like, get over it, follow what the police say, blah, 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 blah. But then it's really ironic how some of those same people, including the older millennial, he got arrested and oh, yeah, that was. And I said I was going to cover that, but you know what? I'm just going to, whenever I want to drag him like verbally and things like that, I'm just going to be petty and mention him in some episodes because it's really funny how him and other red pill MAGA Republican jerks, in my opinion, they're absolute jerks. They have the nerve to have certain rules for black people and people of color, but then when it comes to them, you know who I'm talking about with the colonizers, they think that the rules should not apply, that they should get over everything. But even our court system, even because this year there's been a few colonizing victim or not victim suspects and or who a lot of the people they did like victimized were also colonizers. So, but yeah, I empathize with those victims, even though it's just because what happened to them was not their fault. But it's really with these jerks who did the crime and hurt other people, including children. The judge didn't want to mess up their life. It's like he didn't want to mess up a good white man's life. He was like, this happened like two or three times this year that I know of. It probably happens all the time, probably. But this episode is going to be very, very petty because now it's like on top of this YouTube channel, and I have other YouTube. Well, I have another one that I want to get started and everything, but oh, okay. So let's get back. Like I have the YouTube channels. I'll just say plural. And then my children's books. There's who my illustrator Isaac. I know she keeps asking, "Do you have work? Do you have more work for me?" And I'm like, once I start handing you work, oh, I'm gonna need you almost year round for probably a few years. That's how many projects I'm gonna have for her. And then also for the Gray Sheep Society, I'm gonna have some projects for her. And also, yeah, let's just say there's a lot of things I'm gonna need her help with. But also the activity books and the educational books, which are two different things. I have about four educational books right now on Amazon. But yeah, I'm working on that's one reason I'm saving up money. That's one reason why it's like I show one book on each episode so that you know that I am an author. I am starting from nothing and I am self-published and things like that. But I I'm trying and on a low budget cuz disability life. Yeah, but I don't know, it's just crazy. Yeah, it's like sorry, I'm just with everything going on politically and then with with what happened this week, like one, well, this isn't even part of it, but it's like I caught another guy in a lie. I'm so interested in you. I'm not like all the other guys. I'm not like that. Don't label me. Just promise me you won't label me. And it's like, I'm okay. You know what? I need to slide this in. If I don't later, I need to do this right now. Words are words. Okay. Yes, it's like words can do harm and everything like that, but actions. Because sometimes when people say something and then they say that they're sorry, okay. If you're sorry, you're going to have actions that prove that you are sorry. If you are sorry, you're going to be genuine with that and not repeat and do the same thing over and over again. Like I've had with some of my exes who, oh, I won't cheat on you again. I'm sorry. And then they cheat on me again. But then they tell me, well, I keep cheating on you because it's like you're in grad school, or like, because this is right before I met my ex, Mr. Lakaki. Yeah, the guy blamed me. The guy blamed me. Yeah. But then I had some other guys who, oh, with this promotional modeling stuff, it's like it's like you're beautiful, so I'm sure that it's like if you could cheat on me you would when you're out of town, when you're away from me. And I'm like, it's so funny how men who do women wrong, or it's like, okay, it could go both ways, but remember, I have only dated men. I have only dated men. Okay. It's like I'll just put a period on there right there, because you never know. It's like at this at this rate, you never know. But it's just crazy how men keep saying I'm not like every other guy, but then they do the same exact things. And or if they cheat, or if they even like mental or physical cheating or whatever, or they lie or do something without your permission. And when I say without my permission, I mean going in my purse and stealing money out of my wallet and everything like that. But then later, they're just like, well, once I get my life together, you're going to be happy for me. So maybe you should forget like that. I stole, like, isn't that right, Mr. Lakaki? Isn't that right, Mr. Lakaki? So, but yeah, this past week, over the last 8 or 9 days, there was one guy that I was kind of talking to, or we matched, and the conversation was going so well. So we exchanged numbers, we talked every day or whatever. But then each day, it's like he kind of did the same thing that Mark did. And ironically, his name was James. And I run like they're kind of the same demographic in a way. But it's like I only told you guys a snippet about Mark. So like after the whole politics, like once politics calms down, oh my gosh, the things I'm gonna do with the dating nightmares, and also with the cold cases and crimes, and just with writing, and then the Handicapable Black Nerd channel. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh yeah, back to it. But then on top of the channel and the activity books and the educational books and children's books and the novels, like just yeah, the books, whatever. But it's like sometimes I separate them because people are like, oh, well, I guess you're lying because I thought you were writing children's books. I am, but I'm also doing, oh, I thought you were writing novels. Oh, I thought you were doing this. So I separate them so that they realize, yes, I'm doing all of these things. I'm very creative in that, like, and yeah. So, anyways. But then also the candles and also the greeting cards. Some men hate that I'm creative, or that I'm trying for my own business, and or that I have my own goals and dreams, and that I do want kids, but at the same time I want a balance in the household to where the man doesn't think it's my job to cook and clean, that as a couple we rely on each other and it's a partnership. And because like I want him to be successful, but I want to be successful with my dreams too. But I've met so many men who tell me, your success is being a good mother. Your success will be your kids. Is like that's what you're supposed to be proud of. It's like you wanting to start a business. That's what men do. That's masculine. It's like I don't need to be scared if my girl turns dot dot dot. Oh, and part of me is just like, even if I did, like, because I don't know. It's like lately I've been wondering. Because part of me, I'm just like, maybe these guys are, maybe they're giving me a hint, you know. But because all of them keep being absolute waste of time, including Mister No Heart. Yes, I'm gonna be getting back to my life with employment and how I never got food stamps, but there were times where, yeah, I hardly had any money to my, like, I mean, even though you live with family, it's like you're trying to get your life together and they keep being negative, like you, and well, my mother, especially, both of them, but especially my mother. Ooh, ooh. So it's like sometimes I didn't want to eat anything in our fridge. I didn't want to eat anything in the kitchen, especially like I was working promotions. I was out of the house a lot. So the times that I was at the house, I didn't want to, because sometimes if I did like go downstairs while she was awake or whatever, oh, you're eating some of my food. Oh, did you get a job yet? Oh, you're not losing any weight, but oh, that's what you're eating? You're gonna eat that? It's like, and there's so much. Like one day I'm gonna I'm gonna talk all about that. Especially, I already told you I'm going to do a whole story of the nightmare of The Biggest Loser and how The Biggest Loser kind of ruined part of my mental health in a way. And in some ways, I am still trying to get out of the mindset of the toxicity that I was drowning in. Yeah, I'm going to get that too. Yeah. And I know this is a messy episode, but remember, my channel is as messy as my life. So, yay, welcome aboard. And yeah, we're going to continue sipping some, petty tea, because all of this kind of has to do a lot with the subject, because you will not believe, with like I mentioned James or whatever, but yeah, whatever. It's like that's not even what did it. Like the reason why I'm annoyed with him, because he ended up being like every other guy and stuff, because he kept saying, but he could not do any of the actions. And then he kept, like, let's see, he would say, "Oh, I'm going to call you. Oh, I want to spend time with you. Oh, I'm going to do A, B, and C," but he never followed up. He never followed up. And so then when I'm like, okay, because I'm going to save that story for, it's like when I need a break, when I talk about my employment life, blah, blah, blah. So, but okay, with Mr. No Heart, because I I was gonna tell, I was nervous, but I was gonna tell James why I'm having such a rough week and what had happened. But it's like I didn't want to just tell him. I found out my ex is looking me up somehow, and he actually wrote me on Reddit. Yeah, yeah. It's like, ta-da, like, yeah, surprise, he wrote me, he found me, I don't know. And see, you, because you do not, so i I'm still kind of confused, well, not confused, I'm frustrated and pissed off, but well, no, I am confused, because I'm like, why why are you looking me up now? Why on earth are you looking me up now? Because, like, we have like, we don't have any kids, and we were never married. He told me that after he divorced his ex-wife, he said he was never going to marry again. He said he wanted to be with me for the rest of his life, and no, he wanted to use me. He wanted to use me for the rest of his life. That's what he wanted. That's what he was planning on. He thought that I would be too scared to break up with him because he knew with my walking that no one else was ever going to want me, love me, or marry me, just like my mother used to say. And I got more proof this week by James. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But okay, and I was debating, am I gonna read the messages in this episode? But no, I'll save them for a part two because I'm gonna need a part two because I'm gonna be going over some questions that I have because my number one question is why in the world did he need to look me up in the first place? We were never married because I used to, when we weren't even dating, when we were just hanging out, like we met on Plenty of Fish, and we saw that we both had anime in common, and we kind of saw that we had kind of interest, but at the same time we were like, no, we're not going to date. We don't like, especially he was still married, so I told him, I was like, I am not, no, 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 no. But yeah, that's how like we were just kind of friends or whatever. But there were nights where I would go in his room where he was playing video games, and I mean that's where we spent most of our time or whatever. And I would see him on his ex-wife's Facebook page. And so he told me it was because he needed to see how things were with the daughters, and like that was his excuse. That was his reason. I knew there was more. I'm not dumb. I knew there was more to it. Part of me felt like it's because she broke his heart. Maybe he misses her. Maybe this is all maybe. This is all maybe because I'm not him. I don't know. I do know he never loved me. I know for a fact he never loved me, just like my mother. But he, I want to know why did he look me up? Because we were never married, no kids, no nothing. And because some people are like, oh, well, he had your belongings. Yeah, this is where because he's really good at lying. He's really good at trying to figure out ways to make it seem like he's the good guy or that he's telling the truth and stuff. Okay, because you guys, okay, if you guys have been listening to the episodes, you already know how it doesn't make any sense. If you've been listening to the episodes, you already know how this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because, yes, he has some of my belongings. And back in 2019, because 2019 in the summer, or spring or summer, no, it was summer, his truck broke down. He needed a new car. His credit score was so low, it was terrible. Basically, Satan could say hello to his credit score. That's how bad it was. And yeah, my self-esteem and his credit score were in hell. But anyway, so he called me up like the day of, didn't give me any fair warning or anything like that, or even much of he said thank you, but it was more of the thank you, give it to me now, I need it, blah blah blah. But he was supposed to pay me back in payments throughout, but he decided, I don't know when he planned this out. And you know what? I tell the whole story, so go look it up. But in summary, he had to drop off the money around, I think that year was, that year the Christmas tree was up. It was right around Christmas time. And I asked him, I begged him even, because if you watch, there's there's so many episodes where all of this comes together. I asked him, if you're going to come down, or since you're coming by the house, can you please drop off my blanket? The blanket that I bought while working on my first or second master's. Yeah, I think it was second master's, but it's while I was working on my papers, I get cold easily, so I would bundle up with that blanket, and that blanket helped me, like, or mentally it helped me. It was like it helped get me through some really tough, toxic times and stuff. So that blanket, and if you've been listening, you already know the reason why it ended up at his house, because it's like when we would go to sleep at night and he would take all of the covers and I would try to get them back, he would hit me in bed. He was asleep, but there was one time where there was a scratch on my cheek. And I remember when I got to work at the school in the inner city, the principal even asked me, how'd that get there? And then even later in that day, the same day, she asked me again. And I'm like, oh crap, I look like one of the victims. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, he hit me, but it's like, really? It's like, it's not one of those, like the doorknobs or whatever. It's like, it was what he was literally asleep when he did it. And so, and it was embarrassing, and because, and I mean, I avoided my mom, so like right when I got home from the job, I would just go straight upstairs into my room, so she didn't see that, she didn't see the mark or whatever. But yeah, it's like, if, and it finally vanished all the way in like 2 weeks. I would add like aloe vera and things like that at night once my mom was asleep or whatever. So, but like I had to figure out a way, because like he did it more than, I think it was like about 4 or 5 times he did it. And it was so annoying because I'm like, okay, so I'm cold and I would like some covers too. So I had my blanket at the house in my room, and I'm like, okay, if I have my blanket, at least if he takes all of the covers, I'll put the blanket at the front of the bed. So then if he does it, I can grab my blanket and try and get warm again. And so he knew that the blanket was only at his house so that I would be able to stay warm without him harming me in bed. That was the reason why that blanket was at his house. That is the reason. But I asked him, because especially like since I get cold easily, and it was around Christmas, remember, like he was passing by and stuff, and I asked him before that, but he told me, you live too far, that's too much gas money. He didn't think much of me at all. He just wanted to use me. It's like someone, oh yeah, listen to all the stories. He only wanted to use me. But he knew with my disability, I was too scared to be alone. But I asked him, while you're gonna come by the house and drop off the money you owe me, can you please, bring my blanket for me? I really need it. It's like, I don't want to just be in bed all day under the covers. If I can, like, even sit up with the blanket so I can watch TV or whatever without having to be in bed, that would be so awesome. And he told me no. He told me, well, this will make, like, if I keep it at the house, this will make you work hard. This will make you work hard at physical therapy and straighten up so that you can come and drive to me every week again. That was what he told me. And I begged him like more than 5 times, and each time he would tell me, this will make you work hard. And he was like, why is it at my house? Like, yeah, he said, like, why is it still at my house? Why didn't you get it your last trip? And I was like, do you remember how much pain I was in? I was like, I was just trying to get into the car so I can make it home. And it's like, I didn't know that was going to be my last time. I knew I was in a lot of pain, but I didn't know that was going to be my last time. I didn't know when I got out of the car that my leg was not going to open up all the way. I did not know that I was going to have to crawl around the house for months, for about 3.5 to 4 months. I ended up crawling around the house. Yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't. And he refused. He refused. And he doesn't know how much that hurt me. Like mentally. I was like, I'm just thinking, like, how little do you think of me? Because, okay, if you've been listening to the episodes, you already know about all of like these situations, but when he didn't have any food to feed his daughters at the beginning of when we got to know each other for a belated birthday gift. I filled up, and when I say filled up, like groceries were almost like about to pop off from the pile. But I was like, I spent just over $200 on groceries so that him and his kids would be able to eat. And then when his vehicle got repossessed, I loaned him the money because he told me his mother wouldn't do it, and none of his family or friends would do it for him. And so he said I was the only one that would be able to help him out. And then the camping trip, he kind of blackmailed me and everything because, especially, I didn't want to go and meet up with his mom the first time because when I found out that they didn't know I was black, but then he decided to send them a picture without letting me know. But then all of a sudden they were just like, oh my gosh, she's black, how is she black, why are you dating a black woman, all this other stuff. And so it was really uncomfortable. And then his mother had the nerve to say the only reason you got into college is because she's black. But then he kept telling me that I had to go up north to him, but I invited him over to meet my family over 20 times, and no, never happened. But he would always tell me, you must not love me enough if you don't want to come and see my family. Once my youngest daughter graduates high school, you're coming up to Lake City, Michigan with me, and we're going to live up there. And then I say no, and the way he glared at me, and the way he judged me, and the way, he, I, let's just say I'm still trying to digest that part, but I will do a part two. But just know that in his message, he had the nerve to say, you still have me blocked on Facebook, when the entire time we dated, he told me he did not want to be friends on Facebook. He didn't want, like, especially with his Lake City, like, well, in my opinion, racist friends. He didn't want a black woman, like, on his Facebook page. He didn't want his Lake City friends seeing a black woman's, like, liberal woke, like, like, like opinions and perspective and posts and things like that. He didn't want that. He told me to block his mother, especially when she said racist things. And because I would tell him, your mom is talking about Middle Easterns again in a really hateful way. Your mom is talking about the Asian community. Your mom is talking about this community. And he was like, just block her then. It's like, she's stupid. Just block her. And I'm just like, like, you really calling your mother stupid? Okay. All right. But he never had my back. And he always told me that I had to go up north to see his family. And then especially because with the camping trip, I didn't even finish, the camping trip, he could not afford. And he told me, because I told him, it's like, if I call the bank and I give you a week's permission with my debit card, with it's like they put a limit on it. That's how far, like, I did not want to see his family. I wanted nothing to do with his family. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I was calling my bank. I was calling my bank. But yeah, I was trying to figure out a way, but I couldn't. And he kept telling me, if you love me, you'll come with me. If you love me, you'll let me borrow this money. If you love me, you'll make sure that my mom doesn't find out that I don't have enough money for this trip. It's like, so even when we went to the gas station, and okay, I'm going to need a part two. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.